update sooner, we've been really busy working on the alpha, and we've kind of just been heads down building it. But the good news is we've actually been able to get a lot done in the past month, so we have a lot to share with you today. So to start off, we're excited to bring 2 new members of the team aboard, Aaron and Nick, on the engineering side and the art side. So Aaron is helping us out with the engineering side and feature development, and he comes from Google and had worked on the Daydream VR headset before that. So we're really excited to have his experience and have him helping out on the team. The next person we're excited to bring aboard is Nick. So Nick has been working in concept art for a really long time and has a ton of AAA experience from companies like Turtle Rock. So you might know Turtle Rock from a bunch of the VR experiences they've produced, in particular on the horror side of things. You know, they did a collaboration with Stranger Things, for example, and then before that, you know, they were known for working on games like Counter-Strike. So obviously super excited to have so much awesome experience and new team members on board to help us bring Zenith to life. In terms of what we've actually been building for the past month, we're excited to announce that we have started, or we basically completed the archetypes for 2 new roles. The Reaver role is what we're calling the DPS flavor, if you will, of the Blade Master. So the goal of the Reaver is to do as much damage as possible. And then we've also completed the first role for the Essence Mage, which we're currently calling the Arbiter, because the job of this Essence Mage is to do support. So they can do both damage as well as buff and heal their allies. So we're really excited to share more of that in the coming months. We've also completely revamped the UI. So it looks completely different. It has a much more professional feel to it. You might have seen some of the stuff that Circuit Lord was working on when he posted this in announcements. It's now, you know, even better than what it was back then. And so, you know, we're really excited to show off the rest of that to you as well. We've also completely, you know, revamped the combat system, both from a visual standpoint. It feels way more juicy and aesthetically pleasing, as well as how responsive it is. We've also added new features to the combat system, for example, you know, area of effect attacks, so that you have to both dodge in and out of these things while continuing to execute your melee combos and what have you. We also have a bunch of other exciting things on the combat side that we're kind of keeping hidden and secret for now, because we're excited to really kind of show you guys that stuff when the time is right. We also have several new areas with music and lore. So already the play space of Zenith is several times the size of what some of you may have seen in the pre-alpha. So you know, the pre-alpha had a pretty large play space for a pre-alpha, but the current world of Zenith is several times larger. And of course, we're just getting started. It's going to be way bigger than that by the time we launch. We're also really excited because these new areas are completely different from what you would have seen in the pre-alpha. So not only does this represent an expansion of the world, it also represents completely different areas that look and feel and sound completely different. So with that said, I'd like to hand it off to Lauren to talk about some of these things.
Cool, thanks. So the first thing I want to talk about is the Amorite Liberators. So this is one of the enemies that you'll encounter in the forest region. And a little bit of backstory on them is that deep within the woods lies one of the largest temples of Amara, who is the naturalistic god that gave shape, form, and base instinct to the creatures of Zenith. Most of the worshippers of Amara are peaceful, and the temple is a neutral ground. However, a sect of Amorites known as Amorite Liberators believe that Amara is the one true God and that their divine duty is to spread the Amorite gospel through any means necessary. So because a lot of them believe in listening to their base interests, they justify attacks on adventurers and pretty much anyone who comes by because they believe it serves a greater good. And the second thing I want to talk about is our new dungeon. So the mountain region is going to have a dungeon that we're calling the Mountain Reliquary. And a little bit of backstory on that is that long ago, there was the war between the heroes of old and the god King Relka. You've probably seen some of that if you saw the Kickstarter or anything else. So after a hard-fought battle, the heroes came out on top, and they used a series of powerful weapons and items to seal him away. One of those artifacts was stored in the deepest recesses of the mountain reliquary on top of the mountain. And now that the seal over the God King is weakening, it's up to you to venture into the reliquary and retrieve the artifact. So we're really looking forward to that dungeon as well.
Cool, yeah, so as you can see, we've been working on a ton of really cool stuff, and we're just really excited to continue sharing that with you. So yeah, thanks for your time.
Cool, thanks.